Welcome back to Shed2Ed. Let's go, baby. Episode 14 of Shed2Ed. UFC Vegas once again at the Apex Center. Drago Volkov taking on Biggie Boy Rozenstruik. Steve, you looking forward to this one?
I am looking forward to this one a little bit. Volkov's looked down a little bit lately. I think maybe Rozenstruik fighting him will be able to turn that around for him, possibly.
Yeah, both guys 1-2 in their last three. Little win sandwich for both guys. We'll take a look at that. Let's jump right into the draft battle 14 fight card. Take a look at things. Episode 14, UFC Vegas 56. You went 5-1. I went 2-3. You're up $25 just from last week on that Holly Holm fight night. You're up $35.
Piling it up there, man.
It's draft battle once again this week with the $5 picks. You're up first because of a hockey prop. Last week, Caitlin Vieira with the split decision win.
I didn't really agree with this split decision there. I thought it was pretty obvious that Holly Holm won it, and we were robbed of our big gambling pick there on the main event, but that's how it goes, man. We're saying...
A lot of controversy on Twitter. A lot of Twitter controversy. People are tweeting and sharing their take on judging. You can add us on Twitter. You can jump in on the arguments. First up this week, Movsar Evloev. You picked them up. I mentioned that I was going to take him, so you just sniped him first off the gate.
Yeah, I wasn't sure who I was going to take with this one there, so I looked at Erin Blanchfield. I mean, she's looking good, but Aldrich is always a threat there. I was looking down at Renat, wasn't feeling comfortable with that. Damon Jackson wasn't getting there yet, so I just stuck with Evloev here.
Evloev, 5-0 in the UFC. String of decisions. There's a lot of tape to watch. He's winning these fights. He's winning every round, split decision with Nick Lentz, whatever. But when I saw that he took out Hakeem Dawodu, I was like, oh, man, he just beat his way into the rankings. It's going to be a tough fight if he can get through Dan Ige, but then he's going to be, what, top 10 in that 145-pound division?
Yeah, he's climbing up there. So eventually the streak has got to stop somewhere, but how far can he go? And is Danny Ige going to stop him? Probably not.
Nah, he looks like a real shooting star, Movsar Evloev. Take a look at that fight later. First up, I took Damon Jackson. Now, Damon Jackson surged in the odds, right? Now that's like a what, like 5+ for Argueta?
Yeah, I think Damon Jackson's around like 1.15 or something now, and Argueta is up around 5. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a last-minute replacement on Daniel Argueta to come in to face Damon Jackson. I think Derek Minner was matched up with Damon Jackson but pulled out. So last-minute fill-in, money flooded the Damon Jackson side on this side.
People were clearly still comfortable at 1.31, so that just drove it right down.
Push that line down, push the Argueta side right up to 5. Next round of picks, you took Blanchfield, and I took Ode Osborne.
Yeah, I was just taking the odds on this one. They're cleaning up the 1.17. I got to trust them at some point in time. I like Aldrich as a bet, but I mean, realistically.
Yeah, Ode Osborne, 2-2 in the UFC, 2-1 favorite. Figured I'd just grab that one, jump over a couple of picks there.
Yeah, I liked Ode a little bit there. I was going to take him probably for my next pick there, but...
First 2 rounds of picks out of the way. Third round, you took Benoit Saint-Denis. I went with Alonzo Menifield. Digging deep to grab Alonzo Menifield there.
I like Benoit Saint-Denis. I seen his last fight that he was just getting his ass beat up, and he just wouldn't go down. Doctor should have stopped it in the second round, and he kept chugging, took it to decision. Lost, of course, because he got just beat up so bad. But I was an instant fan of watching him do the Homer Simpson defense. It didn't quite work out, but I think he's going to get a lot of training, a lot of tape from that. He's still up and coming in the UFC, French Special Forces guy or something like that. So he's just all over the place, and I think he's got the talent and skill to kind of make a big name for himself once he gets his feet wet.
Like you said, that Benoit Saint-Denis fight should have been stopped earlier. Somebody, please. But he's back. I was relieved to see he's on the favorite side. I probably would have picked him up just because he demonstrated such toughness and such resolve in that fight that he lost that one-sided decision. So it's good to see you pick them up early on in the draft. Alonzo Menifield got a knockout win over Paul Craig in the first round. Crazy fight. Recently coming off of a loss. But I think he's shown some skill. He's shown some development in the way he fights. His Contender Series win, if you were trying to pick up some footage of him, was an 8-second knockout win. So, you know, he's very explosive sometimes. It's hard to get a read for who he is in the octagon. However, I like Alonzo Menifield, and I think he's going to win this fight.
Moving on. Next round. Who we got?
Next round of picks, you took Renat to beat Andreas. I took Mike Trizano to beat Almeida.
Yeah, both of these fights look very explosive. I think Renat's got a lot of power. He's wild. He's reckless. So he's going to try and come in and beat up on Andreas. Andreas might look to take him down a little bit, wrestle with him. But 1.30, I don't know if he's got the skill to really take it on the gambling picks, but I'll take him in the draft here.
As far as Trezano goes, I watched that Almeida fight, that Dana White Contender Series fight with Lucas Almeida. He's got some spark in his hands and he's got some toughness, but Mike Trezano, baby, he's got a bit more experience.
Trezano lost to Hakeem Dawodu, and he lost to Grant Dawson too. So he's up fighting good competition. He's losing to him, but he's up there with the best, and he looks like he should be. We just got to find that spot in his ranking or wherever he lies there.
Again, it's a tale as old as time. Everyone surges up. They pick up a loss or two. We start to define people by their losses to the top tier talent. That's what rankings are in a nutshell. We're just trying to figure out where everyone fits into the game, right? And where they stand on any given Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. What do we got next round?
Next round, he took Alexander Volkov. I took him against Aspinall, where he lost. You took him this week.
Yeah, I like him against Rozenstruik. Rozenstruik's got a very one-dimensional game, in my opinion. Doesn't have any ground game. Pretty much only has the knockout power. Even when he was a kickboxer, he was running like an 80 or 90% finish rate. That's his main weapon. Now, that being said, if he catches you with one, you're done. But Volkov, with the reach advantage, is going to be point boxing him. And maybe if he takes him down, he should be able to control him on the ground too. So I like Volkov as a draft pick here.
Are we going to see Volkov try and neutralize the striking using the kicks, using the reach? Or maybe are we going to see a little ground game emerge from Volkov? We don't really see that. He spent a lot of time on the bottom against Curtis Blades.
Well, maybe time on the bottom is going to make him learn it. So
maybe. Moving onwards, we got Tony Gravely, Johnny Munoz Jr. I took Tony Gravely. Tony's got a bit of name recognition. I saw him and went, oh, Tony's on the card. Let's ride with Tony this week.
Let's go, Tony.
You took Jeff Molina, and I'm taking Felice Herrig for the next round.
Yeah, it's getting pretty tricky right around here. I'm not sure at all who I want to take. I like Salgas.
You like Zumagulov?
I like Zumagulov, and I'm probably going to take him later on at the gambling picks. But Jeff Molina, he looks sharp. He deserves to be a favorite, probably. I don't know about 1.51, so I'll take him as a pick 'em on this one in the draft.
Classic draft bet. 2-1 favorite. Feeling iffy on it. You get clean odds in the 1-1 on the draft pick, but then you kind of don't want to touch it when you come around to do your actual sportsbook gambling picks, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
You grab Joe Selecki, and then I got a little coworker pick. Shout out to Sean, Corinne Silva. Let's rob a Corinne this week.
Let's go. Yeah, and Selecki was another one that I was feeling not super great at the odds there, the 1.57. And I like Alex de Silva. I like the potential that he shows there. Joe Selecki, two of these guys, two young up-and-comers, but I got to lean with Joe. I think he's got the talent to take this win. Yeah, hey, let's keep it going. So this is what we got.
14 fights, 7 picks each. Let's take a look at the card this week.
Let's break it down.
Big card, kicking off the card, JJ Aldrich. JJ's been a dog many, many times. Is she going to pull it off at that plus 350 slot, though?
Well, let's hope. I'll be betting on her later. You get odds up to 495 on this one, or plus 395. So I really liked Andreas Michailidis. Renat is looking pretty crazy. He's got a lot of power. He's got the one-punch KO at the welterweight division, which is a pretty big weapon there. But Andreas is no slouch. This one should be a banger. It's definitely going to be a fast fight, as far as I can tell. I'm going to take this one to end before the distance.
Renat, Andreas, looking forward to that one. Riding with Tony Gravy this week. You're riding with Benoit Saint-Denis. I'm riding with Damon Jackson. Looking forward to all 3 of these fights.
Yeah, they all look like good fights. I'm excited for this week. We had a little bit of a lull 2 weeks ago with that card, but we got the action coming back here. Great fights on this card. Saint-Denis is an absolute beast. I'm looking forward to seeing him. Tony Gravy, we're back with him again.
And we got a little mix of weight classes, 135, 145, 155. You can get a little taste of each one, their style, how people like to move at each class. And then finally, capping off the prelim card, Karolina Kowalkiewicz looking to snap her 5-fight losing streak against the last person she beat, Felice Herrig, by split decision. And Alex de Silva taking on Joe Selecki. Selecki, a late pick for you in the draft.
I do like Alex de Silva. He's young. He's showing a lot of potential so far as well, but he's not really fought that guy yet, as far as I know. So taking on Joe Selecki should be a good fight. Probably going to be more of a ground match, a grappling match, but it should be entertaining for those kinds of viewers. So
keep an eye out for that fight. This card is a Fight Pass exclusive. You go looking for this on TSN, you're not going to find it. Got to sign up, and it's an early card too. First half of the main card, I took Corinne Silva. got the coworker pick rolling. I took Alonzo Menafield. And who grabbed Ode Osborne? Was that me or you?
You took Ode Osborne.
So this is 3 dev picks on this side of the main card. Menafield, Mozharov. The line kind of moved a little bit on Menafield. I try to jump in on there early. Trezano Almeida, Igor Evloev, and Volkov Rozenstruik, the main event.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to all 3 of these. Almeida and Trezano, that one should be a good match. Some young skill going on there. And 2 up-and-comers. Looking forward to watching both of these, how they do against each other. And then we got Evloev and Igor. So Evloev on the big decision streak. We'll probably look to take him by decision later on in the gambling picks. And then we got Dan Igor falling down. We'll see how far he falls.
We'll see how
In the
far he
main
falls.
event.
It should be a good main event. Both guys coming off of losses. Aspinall with the first-round submission over Volkov, and Curtis Blades with the 3-round wrestling clinic against Rozenstruik. And they both scored wins. Augusto Sakai got knocked out by Rozenstruik in the first round. Tabora got decisioned by Volkov. And then they both lost unanimous decisions to former interim champion Cyril Gane. Number 7 versus number 8. Let's see which one starts to move in which direction. Who's going to start fighting up again? Who's going to start fighting down in the rankings?
So we got our gambling picks for the week here. So we have a format change here. So since we're betting to profit 1 unit or to win 1 unit off of all of our bets, we'll just switch that up here to American odds. Kind of fits that method a little bit better here. So to start, we got Ode Osborne at minus 196. So I'm going to bet 1.96 units to win 1 unit there with Ode. I like him at these odds. I'm pretty comfortable with that bet. So I'll go ahead and run with that one. Evloev, we had some pretty nasty odds there, 1.3, I believe, for Evloev. So you'd have to bet probably twice as much there to cover your costs. So we'll take him to win by decision. Since he's on that decision streak, we'll let him keep going, and we'll take minus 154 or 1.54 units on that bet.
You got a lot of live dogs here, just plus 135 to plus 175. That's what we're really looking for, leaning into the value side with a few dogs here this week, Steve?
Yeah, well, it was more so I wanted to do a couple of parlays just to kind of get rid of the heavy bets on the favorites that I weren't really super comfortable that they were going to win. I wasn't absolutely positive in their abilities there. So I just parlayed Benoit and Alonzo on that one. And I think that one's good value as a parlay at 245 or at plus 145. So we're only going to be betting about 0.6 of a unit to win a unit off of that one there. I like Alex De Silva at these odds. So we'll bet somewhere around the same thing, about 0.6 units to win 1 full unit there. I was speaking earlier about Benoit's toughness, and we've got Stolze. He's got some power. He's got some ability to finish by sub, but I don't think Benoit is going to give up at all. And I think Stolze is going to be good enough to carry a fight with him. So I think that one's going to go to the decision there. I was surprised to see these odds, and I jumped on it right away.
You got a lot of bets riding with Benoit. You took him in the draft. You got his fight to go the distance. You're parlaying him with Alonzo Menafield.
Yeah, man. And it never works out when I pile on like that. So we'll see what happens here. I'm ready to be disappointed.
You're ready to have your heart broken once again.
Yeah, I've been there before. But anyways, moving on there, we've touched on Zalgas earlier. I think he's got good value there. I consider it a pick 'em 50-50 fight. So I'll take him at the plus 150 range here. I like the Almeida Trezano fight to go under 2.5. When I watched Almeida, he looks like he gets gassed very early, and I think Trezano's going to be able to take advantage of that if it reaches, say, the middle of round 2 or early round 3. But Almeida by round 1 KO is a real possibility there. I like it, and that's why I take Almeida by finish at plus 375 as well. 2 very good value picks. I don't know if they'll come true, but I like the value here with these ones.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of you really leaning on your picks. You got Volkov in the draft, Volkov by decision as a gambling pick. You've got Almeida in a double-decker bet with Almeida by finish and the Almeida fight going short for somebody.
Yeah, and I know someone's going to get knocked out in that fight.
You know someone's going to – that's your Steve commitment of the week?
Yeah, that under 2.5. Not just the fight doesn't go to the distance, because that one's 2.2. I like the value at the 2.6 or the plus 160, that under 2.5 mark.
Nice.
Yeah, and then we got some heavy dogs. I just wasn't super confident in the in the heavy favorites. So I'll lean on Andreas Michailidis against the younger, reckless fighter. And I'll take JJ Aldrich just at the crazy plus 395 odds there.
Honestly, I think JJ can get it done. The odds makers make her the dog time and time again, and she's been able to pull it off as the underdog.
So let's ride with her this week.
Let's ride with JJ this week.
What do we got next week?
June 12th, we got that really wacky time zone pay-per-view. It's going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern time, but it's going to be filmed in Singapore. So look forward to everyone in Singapore being up at a really strange time of day to watch the pay-per-view next week. Look for the main event to take place around 12:30 p.m. on Sunday in Singapore for UFC 275. A little breakfast card for the folks in Singapore. After that, we got Calvin Kattar taking on Josh Emmett. Let's go.
Let's go. I'm excited for this week. This is going to be a good card. I got some good picks coming this week. I'm feeling it. Let's go.
Man, you're riding high. I think I'm 4-6 in my last 10 draft picks, so I'm really having a down week. Let's turn the boat around. Let's turn it into a party boat. Let's ride the party boat, baby.
Let's go. Let's ride it.
Let's go, baby. Episode 14 in the books. See y'all next week for the pay-per-view.